Hey, I want to show you something in our bedroom. We have an Airthings air monitor, and here are the results. Let's have a quick look at what happens during the night. So if I look at these results, we can see that the levels are at around 1,300 parts per million, and they're in red. The strange part is this is not an airtight house. So what's going on here? When we first moved into this house, we had an air tightness of roughly 8 air changes per hour. After renovations, we've brought it down to 3 air changes per hour. So it's not a tight house by any means, and it really leaks quite a lot. You've probably heard this argument before. Old houses don't need mechanical ventilation because they're so leaky anyways that you have fresh air coming in and out all the time anyways. So why add ventilation? So if the theory is right, our bedroom should have lots of fresh air. But as you can see, that's not the case. Let's look at the graph again and see what's actually going on here and what conclusions we can draw. Here we're looking at the daytime hours. We're in the green, and I'm going to go later. This is now roughly 8 p.m. And then right around 10 p.m. we're starting to cross over into the red zone, which is over 1,000 parts per million. Which is red because that's technically where headaches can start. And then we see that it continuously rises until about 1,300, and then right in the morning it goes down again. Now the interesting part here is if we go over to the next night, this is now right around 8 p.m. We can see that the reading stays well below 800, which is the green zone. In the morning it rises up, and I can tell you exactly what happened. So let's go back into the bedroom. What's the difference between those 2 nights? The answer is quite simple. The difference between the 2 nights is whether or not we had that window cracked open or it was closed. So on the night when we had green levels, we simply opened the tilt and turn window and then drew the curtain in front of it. So still fresh air was able to come in. And on the night when the levels were dangerously high, we'd close this window. So the assumption that a non-airtight house with leaky walls provides you with adequate fresh air is simply wrong. By the way, I did call it the headache zone. I've read that online. I don't get headaches at night, but it does promote drowsiness and more tiredness, and maybe you don't get as much rest as you would otherwise get. So just for the commenters down below. So the point that I'm trying to make here, air leakage is not ventilation. Even though our house is fairly leaky, that's under a pressure test. So when you pressurize or depressurize the house, you can see where air streams into the house, but it doesn't mean that you get the right amount of air in places like the bedrooms where you need the fresh air. By the way, at this opportunity, I do have to bring in this picture. I found it years ago, and I think his name is Gary. It is awesome. He's trying to make the point here. Would you want to breathe the air that comes through your wall anyways? Now, we've done an effort to open up our window at night just to get in fresh air. And interestingly enough, that's actually very easy to do at night, even in the coldest nights in the winter. But in the summer, it becomes very uncomfortable. So we actually have the window closed during summer nights more often than we have in the winter, where we actually like to have the room fairly cold. So what am I going to do about it? For now, we open up the bedroom window as much as we can. And the next time somebody asks you, do you need ventilation in your house for fresh air? And you're tempted to say, I don't really need that because my house is leaky anyways. Think twice about it. Don't just guess around. My best advice is do get a monitor. It doesn't need to be this specific model, but there's a few on the market, and actually measure it. I think you'll be quite surprised to see what your air quality in your house is, even in a leaky house. So for now, I'd love to hear what you think about this topic. Have you actually measured the air quality in your house? Do you know how leaky your house is versus what the air quality is? Leave it down below in the comments. I'd love a thumbs up as well. And then if you want to see when I install an HRV and how I install it in this house, subscribe, and then hopefully you'll see that video as well. See you soon.